Tropical Storm Debby continues tracking across Florida and Georgia, but it's about to stall and drop a catastrophic amount of rain over the southeast. In this video, we'll be looking at the latest information on Tropical Storm Debby. So right now, here's what it looks like on infrared satellite imagery, and it's pretty much over the Florida-Georgia border. And the winds are actually going down, but the rain will continue. There's still tropical storm force winds that are going to be impacting the northeastern Florida coastline, the Georgia coastline, and South Carolina. And this is kind of what the radar is showing. The same thing, that the center is pretty much right here, and it's slowing down quite a bit. It's moving pretty slowly, and so that rain is really going to be a big problem over this area to the north and the northeast sides of the storm. But yeah, it did bring definitely hurricane force winds along the Big Bend of Florida. This general area is where there were those definitely hurricane force wind gusts, and then even over 60 to 70 miles an hour further into southern Georgia. And now the winds are going down, but still some intense winds, especially along the coast where some of the stronger winds would be, and right around the center, which the center is less organized than it was before, of course, and the winds have actually dropped to, the sustained winds are 45 miles an hour right now, but it was a powerful system at landfall. And the power outages, there's actually 160,000 customers without power in Florida, and over 30,000 in Georgia. And this is actually updated now, 28,000 customers. So the power outages are starting to go down a little bit, especially in southern Georgia is where most of those power outages would be, and also northern Florida, that Big Bend areas where it definitely created a bunch of power outages there. Right now, the National Weather Service has a tornado watch over kind of southeastern South Carolina, and on that northeast side of the tropical storm for the potential for tornadoes there. And then there's also flash flood warnings, even flash flood emergencies across northern Florida and also Georgia and South Carolina. And then a tropical storm warning for northeastern Florida, southeast Georgia, and portions of South Carolina with a tropical storm watch that goes all the way up into like Wilmington, North Carolina. And this is the current cone. The maximum sustained winds are 45 miles an hour. It's moving northeast at 6 miles an hour, so it's really starting to stall. And pretty much it's going to be trying to go offshore by 2 p.m. Tuesday. It'll be near Savannah, Georgia. And then it slowly moves offshore. And then once it gets towards Wednesday and Thursday, it could almost go to a complete stop, as it's off the coast of South Carolina, and then it moves into South Carolina, and then by later on Thursday into Friday, and then it starts moving away from the southeast by Friday and Saturday. The rainfall is a huge problem with this, because there's an area of 20 to 30 inches of rain expected near Charleston, which kind of floods pretty easily, so, that's going to be a huge problem. And then 16 to 20 inches around that area, and then even 12 to 16 inches all the way from Savannah, Georgia, which actually apparently is going to have a once-in-a-thousand-year rain event from this. And so 12 to 16 inches of rain in just, a day or two, or a couple of days, from Savannah all the way up to Wilmington, North Carolina. So this huge area of over a foot of rain from this tropical storm, and there's a high risk of flash flooding, at least 70% chance of flash flooding from this. And so especially in this whole area, an extreme amount of rain And so this whole area is under a high risk of flash flooding over the next 5 days. And the storm surge is going to be a lesser event with this because it's just a tropical storm. You still have apparently up to 1 to 3 feet of storm surge along the Florida coast, but 2 to 4 feet from, the Florida-Georgia border coastline, the coast of Georgia and South Carolina all the way up to Cape Fear, North Carolina. 2 to 4 feet of storm surge is not that much, but still a storm surge warning in place for the Georgia coastline, also part of South Carolina, and then storm surge watch to the north of that. And also a tornado, a potential for tornadoes. You have a slight risk. That was the day one, so today there was a slight risk of tornadoes, and then even a marginal risk continues for tomorrow, Tuesday, and all the way into Wednesday. So, potential for a few tornadoes with this, too, just like, and that's pretty much what happens with tropical systems. That's pretty common. And then you have the track of this system is supposed to go pretty much, of course, offshore, and then it really just stalls right there, somewhere close to the South Carolina coastline, and then now a lot of the models are turning it into South Carolina and North Carolina, and then it does pull away eventually as it really a front takes it away over the next, after the next few days. So by this weekend, a frontal system probably takes this away, and pretty much over the next 3 to 4 days, it's going to stay a tropical storm. Apparently, it does have a slight chance to drop below tropical storm intensity, and then it could re-intensify a little bit as it goes offshore, and then once it goes inland, it's going to weaken down. HAF's A hurricane model really shows, this could start trying to re-intensify as it's offshore, and then this is still, then it does finally go inland, and then it just disappears, But this is still there by, like, Thursday, and then before it really starts moving. And then the GFS kind of shows the same thing. You have pretty much it actually, the GFS is still trying to pull it far to the west, back over Georgia, and then before it really disappears and then gets taken away by the frontal system. So, we'll see what happens with that, but still, just a bunch of rain being poured down on South Carolina, especially, because there's even, this is the NAM model even just showing, system moving extremely slowly, and it just spins and spins there, and so, it's definitely producing a lot of rain, at least 1 to 2 feet of rain, and even the wind gusts could still be pretty strong, like not anywhere close to what it was as a hurricane, but still going across eastern Georgia and southeastern South Carolina, especially by the coast. You could even still have wind gusts, approaching at least 60 miles an hour from this. Even localized areas up to 70 miles an hour possible. That's apparently what this is showing, but that's for tomorrow. Even going into Wednesday, it could intensify a bit more, possibly gusts approaching hurricane force, as the center is actually a lot more spread out, but still some, stronger winds off the coast. And even in the north of the system, you have, 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts, even going into Wednesday. Total rainfall is going to be extreme. This is showing, this is the NAM model showing 15, 16, 17, even, approaching 20 inches. So this is at least showing 15 to 20 inches near Charleston. You could have, maybe 18 inches of rain. Over Savannah, you have about a foot of rain. So definitely way too much rain from this as it stalls over South Carolina. And this is just in the next 60 hours. So the Euro model showing of the next 5 days. This is showing at least 15 inches. It could be it could even be a lot more than this, like 20 to 25 inches of rain, especially in localized areas. You could easily get to 20 inches or more. And then behind Debby, there's actually this disturbance, and it only has like a 30% chance of forming right now, but this is gonna also move towards land areas. It's like last year all the storms pretty much went out to in the middle of nowhere, but this year it's like all the storms in the Atlantic are going towards land. So this would be the 5th tropical storm. If this becomes anything, it will be the 5th tropical storm too. You also have another potential disturbance that they might add, and this one it could go out to the middle of nowhere, or it could go past the Caribbean. It just depends. The Euro ensembles are showing that, possibly a weak system here with this disturbance, and then also another disturbance after that could either go out to the middle of nowhere, or it could go, into the Caribbean. So, we'll have to see, and that's kind of based on what happens here. It could, if it really destroys the high pressure ridge, it could actually end up turning out to the middle of nowhere, or it might keep going west. So, we'll see what happens with that. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button, share the video, comment below, and please be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications if you haven't already for more weather information. Extreme Weather Zone out.